What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Movie Mob Podcast. My name is Nick, and joining me, as always, is live from Gotham City, RJ Curreri. It's just us today, bud.
Yeah, it is. Matt is he's with Val Kilmer now. No, we're kidding. No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
No, Matt's alive and well.
He is. Well, he's
Well,
alive.
I don't know about well.
Well, I
but
don't
he's
know.
alive.
Yeah, he's definitely alive. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today that you've so kindly put together on this this sheet here.
Yeah, I got some more notes for Eddington too, if you need some stuff. So.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
nothing about it except the little video you sent me. But first, you want to talk about Well,
Sure, let's go to Hogwarts.
Sure. HBO confirms the first 6 cast members of the Harry Potter series that they will be producing. John Lithgow as Dumbledore, Janet McTeer as Professor McGonagall, Paapa Essiedu as Severus Snape, Nick Frost as Hagrid. I was very impressed by that one. Luke Thallon as Professor Quirrell, and Paul Whitehouse as Argus Filch.
I dropped the pictures in there too. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see it, but I'll put them up in the edit. No, it's no problem.
And I can text them to you right now so you can see.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And they're in order if you go left to right of the names that I put there. So
Hey,
I just shot you that over. Yeah, man. Okay. So most of these castings have come out sporadically over the past few months, and we just never talked about them because they weren't like confirmed. So I think it's good that we waited. Now we have official word, and these are the 6.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, we talked about the series when it first got announced, right? We thought it was not a good idea. It's still, I think, for us, we grew up with those original movies. It's kind of seems too soon.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Go ahead.
And we talked about it too with the actor who played Hagrid. I'm blanking on his name. Passed away. Dumbledore passed away.
Robbie Coltrane.
It feels weird. Yeah, Robbie Coltrane. That we're like jumping into it so quickly. With that being said, I do think it definitely lends itself to like a series because you can really expand the books. But I don't know, man. What do you think of these cast members?
Well, I think I love John Lithgow. I think he's great.
Yeah, I think that's a good cast. Yeah.
And Nick Frost posted something on social media the other day that said, I thank you, Robbie, for whatever, and I'll do right by the character. Obviously, I personally like Nick Frost. I think he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a good casting. McGonagall, that it just tears at the heartstrings a little bit. Not because I don't like the actress who
She just passed too, right?
Just passed. And listen, at some point we're gonna have to get over it. It is what it is. You got to make stuff. Yeah. It is what it is.
Janet McTeer is a good actress, though.
Yeah,
I do like her in that. Yeah,
yes, she is. She's a great actress. Yeah. The Paapa Essiedu, I don't know what is he in.
Let's get to the elephant in the room here. I mean, because that's been what people have been talking about.
Why? Because he's a DEI hire.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I'm not being racist. I'm being honest. Like, did they?
To me, like I feel I don't want to get into this whole thing because it's obvious there's a lot of vitriol on Twitter. People take things out of hand, but I don't know. Like the character, I'm all about like adapting the character base. You want to be faithful to the books, do it. Snape is kind of represented as this like pasty white dude
with a hook nose. I'll never forget. My mother read me the first book with a hook nose. Right. Yeah.
In this I mean, we can say it till we're dead.
Blue in the face.
This really doesn't have anything to do with him being black. I have no problem with a black person being in Harry Potter. There are black characters in Harry Potter.
Sure.
But it's this consistent Hollywood theme where they feel the need to, rather than like invent a new black character or uplift a existing black character, they race swap them.
Right.
Which I think is the biggest issue. Because imagine if they did that with Black Panther. There's that meme.
Buddy, I said this a few
Ryan
weeks ago. I said this when we talked about Snow White. This is my whole point.
Right.
I mean, Black Panther's probably a better analogy than my Martin Luther King analogy, but still, it's it makes sense. I think They
And
said
it's nothing against him too, Paapa Essiedu as an
of
actor,
course not. Of course
Yeah,
not, and I'm sure he'll do a great job.
yeah.
But it isn't, it's not the right, I don't know how to say it. I get where you it's a little it's difficult. It's a
But
difficult
here's the
thing
thing, Nick, right? Because we've casted people before.
many times.
You put out a casting call for Snape. Gun to the head of the casting director, were they told you need to hire a black person, or did they, out of all the people that came in for Snape, truly believe that this guy was the right for the role? I find it hard to believe that.
I do too, especially when you're going up against a performance by Alan Rickman, who was,
Yeah.
I mean,
To,
fuck off. Like, he's amazing, you know?
to me, if you're an HBO executive, this is listen. Five of these actors are white. I
Yeah.
think we need to, insert someone here. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and listen, he could be great in the role. Like I'm just saying, based on this, it's a little frustrating when they continue to do this stuff. People are clearly not only upset about the casting, but upset about the series existing in general.
Right.
But I will say, aside from that, though, I do think all these picks are good. I think Lithgow as Dumbledore is really good.
It's a great pick.
Um, and I think with Dumbledore, it's less weird because we already had two Dumbledores.
Mhm.
They recasted him too. I
Yeah,
but I
man.
do see a lot of people were frustrated that Adam Driver didn't play Snape.
I feel like
He
that
would
would
have
have
been
been
perfect.
a great
Oh,
casting
yeah.
call, you know?
I don't know if he would ever do TV in that level, but,
Well, it's fucking HBO.
uh,
It's not like cable,
I mean, he looks the
It's
part, sounds the part, but you can't have it all, you
that's
know?
true. You really can't. And
How do you have you changed your opinion on the series in general, though? Are you gonna watch it?
I'm definitely gonna watch it. Yeah. I mean, I
You're
love
gonna
Harry
watch it?
Potter.
Yeah.
Those books came out, I was 6, 7 years old. The first that Christmas, I got the first 4 books or whatever it was
Yeah,
for Christmas, and my mom read them to me. It's definitely a huge part of my childhood. I like the
yeah,
Lithgow thing. It's a weird thing, time marches on, dude, no matter what.
seriously.
It's a good
Lithgow's
representation.
not British, though.
No, but he did
He was
play
not, no.
a very good Churchill, in
Is he in
my
The
opinion.
Crown? Yeah.
Yeah, he played
Who does
Churchill.
he play Churchill in what?
I think it was The Crown,
Is it
yeah.
in The Crown?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, he's a great actor, and, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think now that the dust has settled a little bit, I feel less angry about this,
Yeah.
just series in general. Like, I hope it's good, but, HBO, rarely do they do us wrong.
So, with the whole black thing, right, here's my take
Yeah.
on this. There was a few years ago, I think I was probably, like, 10th grade. I don't know why this came up, but there was a play. There was a play about Harry Potter, about the 3 kids after they had grown
First
up.
child.
Right. And on stage, whenever that came out, they had Hermione was played by a black girl
Mm,
on stage. And even J.K. Rowling said, Hermione, like, she very well could have been black. Like, that there was no,
yeah.
like, she had curly hair or whatever, and, there was very
No, it wasn't as
minimal,
specific.
yeah, minimal description on her looks, right? Whereas Harry Potter or someone like Snape had very specific
Yeah.
descriptions of their looks. So I'm a little perturbed by that, especially since the 3 main characters are not. Have they announced anybody yet about who's playing Harry and all those people or no?
No, this is the first 6. I'm sure they're gonna make a huge thing out of when they announce the kids, obviously.
So I think it would have been more advantageous to have a black Hermione. But
Yeah, I agree.
it's also another one of those things where, like, obviously I'm not against, like you said, like, having black people cast in anything, but it is a British story,
Yeah.
like, they're supposed to be British people. No?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, there's not a lot of in that original series, films, there's not a lot of black characters, like, there's Dean Thomas, and there's a few here and there, but very, you know, minimal characters, but to your point, yeah, I think if you were gonna, uh, race swap anyone, I think Hermione probably would fit the best.
That would make sense. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
take a character like
and I think that's a bigger, if they're really going for, like, um, kinda this, like, social thing. Like, I don't know, Hermione's one of the big 3, even more so than Snape. To me, that's a bigger thing, and maybe they will. Maybe they'll still do it. I don't know.
I don't really understand the choice here. Why Snape?
Yeah,
Why
I'm with you. I think that's why a lot of people are upset. I think out of all the characters, this seems to it just doesn't really fit.
I just don't get it. I don't know.
You know?
Whatever. I guess we'll
Yeah,
have to see how, I'm sure the performance will be
yeah, we'll
great or
see.
whatever, but it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Plus, it's like Alan Rickman. I think probably out of any of the performances is the
Dude,
most iconic, right?
it's not even like, I mean, yes, it is, it's
Right.
iconic,
They're
but it's like the
inseparable.
most emotional, the biggest
Yeah,
roller coaster of like, emotions. And is he the bad
yeah,
guy? Is he actually the good guy? Is the bad? I mean, like
yeah,
this, it's amazing.
yeah,
Sacrificing himself, like just incredible,
yeah.
incredible person. Incredible performance. I mean, across the board. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
We shall see.
We shall
We shall
see.
see.
The other thing we're gonna see, dude, Robert Pattinson is really having quite the career here these few
He's
years.
got a lot going on and no Batman.
None whatsoever. But apparently he's gonna star, or being eyed to star in Dune 3. He
Mhm.
would be the villain. How do you say this?
I believe it's Scytale. I don't know.
Skytail.
Let's go with Scytale.
Skytail, side tail, front tail, back tail. How you doing?
Yeah.
Filming filming's expected to begin in this summer, with a December 18th, 2026 release date. And like you just said there, no Batman. We've delayed that to
Yeah.
2027. What the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing? Give me
Well,
Batman.
so what we got, I mean, Pattinson's got Dune 3 lined up. He's
Yeah.
filming The Odyssey right now.
Mm.
He's doing a whole lot. He just shot a movie in Boston, I think, actually with Zendaya. Is that right? I don't know. But I think, yeah, I think it's called The Drama. So he's got a lot going on, and Batman keeps getting pushed. I will say there were some rumors recently
Mm.
that said that Matt Reeves, something's clearly going on in his personal life, because they're saying that the script's still not done yet. I know that, obviously we don't know anything, so it's all speculation, but some people were saying that he might be sick himself, or someone close to him is dealing with an illness.
That's sad.
So I mean, we don't have to harp on that, but uh yeah, I mean, it's definitely frustrating, especially, right, we just reviewed The Penguin. We want that. I mean, this I'm pumped out of context, so I'm pumped to see Pattinson in Dune 3. He was actually up for the Austin Butler role in part 2, but I think he
Oh.
had schedule conflicts. So it's good that they circled back and are able to bring him back.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think Pattinson's doing great. I'm fearful that by the time Batman comes out, that everybody will kind of have this like Pedro Pascal taste in their mouth, where it's like he's just been
Mm.
everywhere, because he really has. I mean, he's done like
Yeah, he
6
has.
movies, you know?
But I will say, I think in comparison to Pascal, though, I like the movies he picks.
Mm,
He's way more like, Pascal's been in some stinkers. He's been in Wonder Woman, the sequel. He's also in The Last of Us, which is a big TV show. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
he's really everywhere.
You're not wrong.
Where Pattinson, I do think I like that he selects his roles. He's not jumping into anything too crazy. And I like that he's gonna be playing a villain in this. That's different.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I think it'll
And
be
he's one of those
interesting.
actors that can get weird too, which I like.
Yeah, like in The Lighthouse.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I
A
think
lot
I
of hands.
yeah. Yeah.
Have
Mermaids.
you have you watched Dune 2 yet?
Dune 2, no, I haven't.
Oh, yeah, you should get on that. It sucks though, man, because I was watching, the aspect ratio of that movie is 4:3 because it's shot on IMAX. But
Mm,
then when you throw it on a TV, if you rent it, they switch the aspect ratio to fit the screen. So you're going from like the box to like wide, and it cuts off like 40% of the frame. It's crazy. I would honestly rather it just like fill fill the middle of the screen and show all of it, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
this is unrelated rant, but
No, no, I understand it, I appreciate
yeah,
it. I think, yeah, you're right. I think it's dumb. I don't know why they don't put the boxes on the sides then and just show a square in the middle of the TV.
that's
Why do
what
they?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and if you're Denis, like you can't like that. You're cutting out like a shit ton of the frame there.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
interesting.
stretch it. That's a weird way to do it, no? How do they fill that
Yeah,
in? Like, with how do they
and
I don't know.
right.
I mean,
Annoying.
I guess they
But,
used to
no,
do it I guess they used to do it the opposite way. Whenever you would see back on those old tube TVs when you were a kid, and that blue
yeah,
screen would pop up that said, "This has been formatted from its original version," to you know what I mean?
yeah. But
So that
IMAX is so unique too because of that
yeah,
aspect ratio. It's just it's a shame.
it is.
So they better fix that for Dune 3 so I can see Pattinson in 4:3.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah. There you go.
I like it. I'm all about it. I think it's
Yep.
great. Yeah, no, that makes sense. You wanna talk about this Eddington film?
Yeah, let's do it. And I
Alright.
can, I put some information. I don't know if you wrote it down because I just added it.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
see it, but I watched the trailer. It stars Joaquin Phoenix by A24. Do you know when it comes
yeah,
out?
it comes out July 18th.
Mhm.
You also got Austin Butler in there, Pedro Pascal, of course, Emma Stone. I got the plot line here too, if you want to hear it.
Yeah, please.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, a standoff between a small town sheriff and mayor sparks a powder keg as neighbor is pitted against neighbor in Eddington, New Mexico. Um,
Let me tell you how
and
little
it's
I
written
give a
and
fuck about
directed
this.
by it's written and directed by Ari Aster, who did
Interesting. Interesting
yeah,
take.
you know Ari.
I
He
do.
makes them weird. Um, so I watched this trailer when it came out, and then I watched it again this morning, and I actually kind of liked it better this morning.
Okay.
Um, Still, we've talked about this before. We talked about it with Knives Out, the second Knives Out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's so recent that whenever something's set during the pandemic and they play into that, it kind of just like I kind of lose interest a little bit.
It's so cheesy.
Yeah, it's not my. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I will say with this cast, it did look interesting. What do you think?
So from the trailer alone that you sent me, I don't know what the fuck is going on in this. I knew that there was that
Yeah.
the pandemic was involved, and right when they started talking about the pandemic, I'm like, "Oh, fuck." I
Yeah.
think if you're gonna make a pandemic movie, why not make one about the 1912 pandemic, the bird flu or whatever the fuck
Or
it
the
was?
Black Plague.
Yeah, like, why do we need to
Yeah.
this is from we're talking about, like, 5 years ago, not 50 years ago, okay?
Yeah.
It's not that
Right.
interesting. People are still fucking traumatized from it. I still, to this day, when I go to restaurants, I'll see servers wearing masks. Give me a fucking break. What are we doing, you
Right.
know? Like,
Well, it's
it's
probably the same.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if someone lived through World War II
Yeah.
and a World War II movie came out, I'm curious if they were having the same reaction to it
Yeah,
as we are.
I highly doubt
Yeah,
that there were a lot of World War II veterans at the premiere of Saving Private Ryan. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, let's I don't know. And this is again, this is for the masses, but this was a worldwide pandemic. Like, who the fuck is gonna wanna
Mhm.
watch this movie and enjoy it?
And I think too, like, I just, like, irks me, like, for some reason when I see, like, Instagram and phones on a movie
Yeah.
in a movie, that does that bother you at all? I don't know, that might just be a me thing. I don't know, it
Yeah.
kinda takes me out of it when you have, like, a shot of a phone and you see they're scrolling through, like, Instagram. It,
S
like, kinda breaks me out of the trance a bit.
Well, yeah, because it's not you feel like you almost like you're watching a TikTok video or something.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's like it's not the same thing. And not that listen, not that it's bad. Obviously, this is totally subjective to us. We can formulate our opinions about things. I think
It's
I think when it comes to like the movie that I talked about last week, the Y2K film, right?
Mhm.
The thing that I liked about it, the thing that kept me interested in it was like a blast from the past from my childhood. All the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
technology, the tube TVs, the lack of cell phones, the USB drive, the crazy big box computer screen,
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. It's different than what we have now. We still have Instagram, you know?
Yeah.
We still have people wearing masks because of the pandemic. Like it's not
Mhm.
maybe if this was done like when we turn like 60, right? So like 30 years from now, if they did a movie like this, okay. Okay, that's kind of cool. A little blast from the past. Like, yeah, remember that? That was crazy. This is like
Mhm.
we're still dealing with it, and the repercussions
Right.
from it and everything else. God knows I'm still fucking paying for it. The
Yeah.
loans and everything else from the business and all that shit. So it's like, what are we doing? You know, what
Mhm.
we can't come up with anything new, and the new shit that we are coming up with is from 5 fucking years ago. We gotta tell a story?
Yeah.
You know, you know? I haven't seen the movie, so maybe it's good, I don't know, but you're right, and when it comes to the social
Well,
media
it's
shit.
just we want I don't know, like, for us, we wanna see stuff that we've never seen,
Yeah, but even if
right?
it's stuff, yes, I agree, but, the style of film, you're always gonna get me with, like, it's so easy, like, tell me a story about a random person from New Mexico, you know?
Right, that's a good point. Like, I'm curious, like, when we see this movie, because to me, I think Knives Out, the issue with it, right? It starts, they all got masks on, and then you forget about it. It
Yeah,
had no it had no significance to the plot. So
right.
I'm curious if we see this movie, is it integral to the plot, or did you just shoehorn it in there for, like, some relevance? You know what I'm saying? Could this movie exist without that being part of it?
Yeah, I think the other thing
Yeah.
about it too, if you're not gonna create a fantasy world that doesn't like Harry Potter, right? You gotta do a lot of world
Yep.
building. But if you're gonna set something
Mhm.
up in like a United States, whatever, something that's based in reality, I get this feeling like it's very trendy right now to have your film be larger than life. And what I mean by that is my issue with the social media, including social media in the film, is that it it's not it's like a story about a country. It becomes a story that's bigger than everything. The most interesting stories in the world to me are about, the guy you saw at dinner last night that, spilled that accidentally bumped in the waitress and flipped the thing over and all the food fell everywhere. Like I want to see something that's
Yep.
like on a micro level because everything, like think about it this way, right? And I'm not getting political, but like all this crap
Mhm.
with Donald Trump and everything else that's going on in the world right now, the tariffs, we're not day-to-day people are not affected by this. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also to that point, I think we've talked about this before. It's like, we're so inundated with political stuff during the week.
Right.
If someone's gonna, spend 2 hours of their life and a decent amount of money to go to the movies on Friday night, do they really want that to be what they're seeing?
Right, show
It's the
me
escape,
something.
right?
I wanna see
Yeah.
something that's like that brings me back to reality, that focuses in on something that I know nothing about, that I can learn about, maybe a little bit of education would be nice.
Yeah.
But just showing me stuff from, okay, so it's about this New Mexico guy, but then everything's on social media and everything's all over and it's a global like, who gives a
Mhm.
fuck, dude? It's just too much.
Yeah.
The news, if you
Right.
think about it this way, right? Again, it's not about politics because it's the same on Fox as it is on CNN. It's just one side versus the other. But everything is this country versus this country, or this group of people is upset at the government of the whole. And you're going, okay, but like, you know, RJ down the street, Matt and Art, like, what about their lives? Like, that's what I would want. That would be the
Yeah.
escapism, you know?
Well, I think we shit on Tarantino a little bit the last episode
Oh, you want
and
to do it
some of
again?
his
I'll
takes,
do it
but I do
again.
agree. No, well, I do agree with one thing he said recently, and that it's that idea that he feels that like social themes and opinions have crept too much into movies,
Mm,
and that rather than letting an audience interpret something, you're telling them what they should be feeling, right?
right,
Which
right.
for me, like, when I'm writing something, like, I never go into it being like, "Well, this is the themes of this are going to be" like, for me, when I write something, the themes come out of it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
sure.
And I feel like, too many things now, people are sitting there when they're starting to write it and like, "I wanna show that." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, here's my
Yeah,
message, and then I'll
and
formulate the
yes,
story around my
and
message.
right, and then it feels convoluted
Well, yeah, and
and
it
kinda just
it
yeah.
feels like propaganda is what it feels like.
Right,
If
right. Yep,
and I mean that in the most general sense of the word. You're being told the way to feel, and this is who the bad guy is, no matter, you know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah.
okay, all right, if that's what you wanna, I don't see really a lot of
And
value
it
in
makes
that.
it just kinda makes the audience what's the point of the audience then?
Right.
You're really
Well,
just making it for yourself, and that's it, you're not letting the audience have an experience with it.
right. Well, okay, so hold on. So there's a that's a double-edged sword there because I'm a big advocate, and I
Yeah.
just wanna clarify because I get what you're saying, but I wanna say it in a
Mhm.
different way. So, like, when because on, like, the Nick Williams show, as an example, all I do is advocate for people to go out there and continue making stuff and not be worried about what other people think and, go out there
Mhm.
and make your artwork. But I think where you're coming from, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think where you're coming from is this is more like telling yourself a story in the mirror. I think the point of filmmaking is like to have a story and you can allow other people to that are listening to the story to interpret it their own way, but you're telling a story the way that you want to tell a story.
Yeah.
This is like telling like uh it's like if you were on Tinder and you come across your own profile and you're like, "Oh, that guy's so hot." You're like,
Yeah.
it's just a self suck. It's like, what are you
Mhm.
doing, dude? Like, you're not
Yeah.
sharing anything, for the audience. It's like,
Mhm.
it's a very selfish way to do things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like my favorite thing. There was another news story. I guess it's moderately political, but I wanted your take on it. Um, Obviously, there's stuff going on between the U.S. and China right now with regard to tariffs and all that other stuff. But the Xi Jinping said recently that they're gonna stop having American films play in China as
Mhm.
one of his tactics to whatever this fucking negotiation they have going back and forth. Um, but I wanted your take on that because I don't I in regards to Hollywood and the way that they make films. So you got over a billion people in China, and a lot of these films. So there was that film a few years back, Red Dawn or whatever it is. It had Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, the remake
Yes, the
of
remake.
the original,
Originally, it was supposed to be the plot line of the film is
the
that
Soviets.
no, originally it was supposed to be China, and they made them change it to have
Really?
North Korea.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, China does have a lot of regulations.
Well, this is my point. So
Yeah.
and they as a country have a tendency to like they say something and based on what they say, if the film doesn't follow their guidelines, it won't be shown there. So then Hollywood over in Hollywood will
Mhm.
like change a film for the American audience. They change it across the board just to kind of fit whatever China says that they'll allow because there are so many people. Like you'll see a movie make 80 million domestic in a opening weekend as an example, but its
Yeah.
its global release will make 350 million because of the Chinese market. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like a huge proponent of the Hollywood money making machine. I just wanted your
Yeah.
take on it.
I think it definitely depends on the movie.
Okay.
I think a lot of the big blockbusters definitely rely a lot on, um, international markets.
Right, but we talk a lot about like IP here. You know what I mean? Star Wars and
Right.
all this other shit. So, I mean, I just wanted your take on because
I
I
mean, I'm
just have
sure
it feels like here in America at least, right? Hollywood doesn't give a shit about what people say that they want because we've all been preaching the same crap for years now. They just keep remaking Star Wars. They keep remaking things like Disney's a big proponent of this crap. Um, but it has to do with a more of a global market, definitely 100%. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
don't care what you have to say. These people give us the money, so we're going to do what they want. I wonder if we'll see a change. Is really where I'm going with this, which is why I brought it
Yeah.
up. I wonder if we'll see a change in the way that they make things if China really says, "Yeah, well, you can't show your films here anymore." I think it'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
well, I mean, yeah, to that point, I mean, there definitely have been situations in the news where you hear, like, how marketing of a film has changed
Yeah,
to
Black
affect
Panther is
China.
one of them.
Black Panther, yeah, Force Awakens, they did it with Finn. They took him off the poster.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
For this
interesting. I
new
mean,
Harry Potter series, if it's shown in China, there won't be a Snape at all in the. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they definitely rely a lot on him.
Yeah.
Um,
Just monetarily
it'll
speaking. Like
it'll be
the
yeah,
consensus
monetarily speaking,
the
yeah.
the consensus here in the States is that Hollywood is like this money grab, money making machine that just tries to squeeze everything dry. And I wonder if by cutting off 2/3 of its income, if that will change the way that they view making films. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm trying to see here. So for the Minecraft movie, for
Oh god, we
example,
can talk about that too. Have you seen all this shit online about that?
I have. I might see it this coming weekend. We'll see.
Okay, well, bring a helmet.
So we're past. So 2 weekends. After 2 weekends, it made 500 mil. 269 million came from international. 281 came domestically. So pretty even there. I think when you're talking about video games,
Mm.
that's going to be a wide range. But a movie like Eddington will lose money in fucking China,
Who the fuck? I mean,
probably.
who? Why?
Uh,
I just want
yeah,
to know, and I'm
but
trying to be realistic here because let's say you're fucking you're an alien, okay, and you don't even know what movies are. And I don't mean you're from El Salvador. I mean you're from like another planet. Okay. So
mhm,
you're an alien. You show up and take me to your leader, and we're talking or whatever. And we say, "Oh, have you ever seen movies?" No. Okay. Well, take a look at these. This is a trailer for a movie, and he watches 5 trailers. Eddington's one of them, and up against Eddington, you got a trailer for The Shining, Pulp
mhm,
Fiction. You got a trailer for Star Wars: A New Hope. Who the fuck's gonna watch
yeah,
Eddington? What normal fucking person is gonna go, "Oh, Eddington's the one I want to watch next. Let's do that one."
right,
I
right.
I don't even what? Like, it's kind of
Looking
I don't
Well,
know.
I got a more detailed one here.
Go
So
ahead.
the top 5 markets, Minecraft movie, UK number 1, just under 40 million.
Wow.
Then China's number 2 at 20
Yep.
million. So I'm actually very surprised by the, UK.
Well,
But I guess
okay,
no, I'm not, 'cause they
okay.
speak English, like, it's kind of a closest relation over there.
Sure. And a
Um,
lot of them play video games too, you know?
I'm curious about, like, the Super Mario Bros. Movie,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
obviously Nintendo well, that's Japanese, but, let's see, Chinese box office. I mean, either way, like, 20 million is a lot of money, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. So
Uh,
if you're talking
oh,
about
wow, it's actually not as much as I thought.
what, for Mario?
Well, this is using the obviously the Google AI, so who knows if this is right. This is saying that the Super Mario Bros. Movie grossed 24.95 million in China, but over like, globally, it made 1 billion. So that's really not a lot
Well, where the fuck are they showing this movie?
percentage.
I mean, I guess what's the highest market then? India? Like, I don't understand. Like, where the you
Well,
can't
probably here.
you think?
Um,
I mean, dude, you and I,
uh,
we've talked about this many times. There are only a select few films, I would say, in the last 10 years. There's only a select few films, RJ, that you'd be willing to go and pay $20 3 and 4 times to watch the film,
mhm,
right?
yeah.
So
Well,
how are you making $1 billion? I don't
yeah.
understand. Who's
Well,
watching these movies?
Japan swung in with 100 mil, which
Holy
makes
shit.
sense
Oh,
because Nintendo.
you're telling me the Chinese market for the Super Mario Brothers movie made 20 something million and Japan
Mhm.
made 100
Well,
million?
Nintendo is Japanese,
So what? Are you
and
kidding
they
me?
have I think, a much freer country than China
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right.
in terms of, who knows? They might not let the women go to the movies in China,
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know what they I don't know what they do.
Yeah. Uh,
Um
Let me see, I'm curious, though, now that we're on the topic.
Hey, you know
Oh,
that India speaking of India, you know that Indian movie I like so much, that RRR movie that came out?
yes.
Can
Yep.
you look that up and tell me how much it made, globally? Because, it was number 1 in India, number 1 in, the EU, number 1 here when it came over. I mean, it was a huge it's gotta make over 1,000,000,000. It had to have made over 1,000,000,000.
Oh, this is really crazy. Well, this is still the Mario movie.
Mm.
Mexico, 73 million.
Wow.
UK and Ireland, 56 million. Germany, 43. France, 40. And Australia, 31. They all beat out China.
That's weird. Maybe they had some weird
Yeah.
reason they couldn't show it there, or they couldn't I don't know.
Yeah. It's the highest grossing movie ever in Mexico.
That's
Um,
insane. That's what a
what
weird
what were you
movie.
asking me about
The
RRR?
yeah, just because it did so well
Well, I don't
everywhere.
know though, because wasn't that a Netflix movie?
Yeah, I maybe, I guess. I think it was definitely well, no, it was playing in theaters here too.
It grossed over 166 million worldwide.
That's actually
It,
shocking that it wasn't more.
its North American gross was 15.
Wow. Huh, that's
Um,
shocking.
but I mean, it's a Bollywood movie.
Yeah, but
You
it's
know what I'm saying?
incredible. I thought the movie was incredible. I don't know. I've been never
And
watched
I do think a lot of the US traction was built from Netflix.
Mm.
streaming, like, after the fact, you
Probably,
know?
and we never get those numbers anyway, so how would we know?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's all good. Eddington, probably a pass. I'll watch Dune Part 2 so that I'm ready for Dune Part 3. I'm sad about the
Mhm.
Batman. I'm sad about McGonagall, but Janet McTeer is a good, is it Janet or
I'm getting
Jeanette?
I don't know.
Hmm, okay.
Let's go both. I will say, but back to the Batman, uh, it's probably a good thing Matt's not here. I'm getting a little worried though, man. I mean,
Yeah, it may not
it's
happen.
like, because let's see, like, say this, we get Superman coming out this summer. If
Mhm.
that blows up and if that's really well received, like by 2027, James Gunn's gonna have a few of his DC Universe movies under their belt. Like, are they gonna
Yeah.
want to make a Batman movie that's separate from that? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll tell you this much though. I feel for what's his name there, the one that has the
Matt
fucking
Reeves.
thank you. I feel for Matt Reeves, but at the same time, it's like this is you only get one life, RJ. You only get 80
Yeah.
years. There's no sequel. And it would be very sad, and I do not wish any sort of ailments on anybody. Um,
Mhm.
and it's difficult because I'm not in the situation, but I just feel like what a waste. What a waste.
Yeah. No,
You know?
I mean, this would be a significant thing for me.
Yeah.
If we never get a sequel to the Batman 2, it'll be a real shame.
Well, and
But
that's where
obviously,
I'm
if
at with it. You know,
we
Matt likes to get angry about these things and yell and
yeah,
scream, but for me, I'm sitting there like, dude, you're never gonna be able to do this. You're not gonna if you lose that momentum, and you know that you take I don't know, even if it came out in 10 years,
yeah.
it's not
Well,
gonna
that's the
ride
whole
the
point,
wave.
right? We were supposed to be a younger Batman. Now he's gonna be like almost he might be 40. I don't so it changes that. But with
Mm.
that being said, I wouldn't want anyone else other than Matt Reeves making it.
Mhm.
I wouldn't want them to insert another director, so I
Hey, I
don't
mean,
know.
unless the person's, qualified. The thing we liked about Matt Reeves was
Unless
just
it's David Fincher,
yeah,
then I'm in.
that would be good. I would like a Fincher. I
He would make a great Batman movie, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are we do we have any more updates or news on the Odyssey? Where are we at with that?
No, it's actually funny though, um, no, Ben Affleck was joking about, Matt Damon in it at the Accountant 2 premiere, which I was driving home from work last night, and I drove by it. It was at the Chinese theater.
Yeah?
Not a big crowd for the Accountant 2. Well, I saw some people, like, taking pictures across the street. I'm like, "What the fuck's going on?" Yeah. Um, I've actually never seen the first Accountant, but
Really?
I hear good things.
Hey,
Yeah, I hear good
you know
things.
what's funny? I've seen it multiple times. It's not a bad if you like
I don't
Born Ultimatum, it's
Yeah.
except with an autistic
Well,
kid. Like that's
I was
that's what
gonna
it
say, I
is.
saw the trailer for the new one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can take Ben Affleck doing the, like, autistic thing
It's pretty
for a
good
whole
though.
movie.
It's pretty
Is it
good.
good?
Yeah,
Alright,
it's just like,
I'll try it out.
he's just very, docile, except he kicks
Yeah.
everybody's ass. Like
You know what's funny? He around I don't know, they probably don't have them over there, but here in LA, they have how they'll have, like, lawyers will put their billboards up on, like, a bench?
Yeah.
They have a picture of Ben Affleck, and it's like, "Call the accountant." Like, he'll and it's that's, like, their marketing. It's actually pretty clever. Like,
Mm.
I like a good marketing,
Yeah,
clever
there's a lot
marketing.
that goes into it, you know? A lot of stuff that
Yeah.
goes into it. I, yeah, man, I don't know. I can't wait to, obviously have Matt back next week, and we'll talk about some more stuff. I'm sure he'll have
Yeah,
a
we'll
take.
talk about if anyone's wondering, the Fantastic Four trailer, we'll talk.
Yeah, 100%. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
too. Movie Mob premieres every Friday, 6 p.m., unless, scheduling conflicts or whatever else. But like and subscribe because the more of you that subscribe, the more often we can do the Movie Mob. Okay.
Thank
Uh, yeah, no, I think it's great. A lot of stuff in the works. That's it. I'll see you next week. RJ, take it away.
How you doing?